It's that time again. It's time for the VCB podcast with your host, Jason Smith and Ronaldo Villarreal. We back for another episode, another hot episode. The Central Valley's on fire still, but we're hanging in there. But before we get started, let's go ahead and bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Ronaldo Villarreal. What's up, Ray?
How's it going, Jason?
Hey, man. Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready for some VCB news?
Got him. Oh, my gosh.
No. Are you ready for some football, my friend?
Oh, yes. You know me.
All right. We want to hear from you all in the audience. If you're listening to this podcast and you're listening to it on our YouTube channel, right there on Spotify, if there's a way for you to make it, go to our Facebook page. Go ahead and let us know, are you ready for some football? And you can go ahead and type in your favorite team.
Yes.
That would be fun. And are you doing fantasy football? Let us know if you're doing a fantasy football league.
I'm in 2 this year, so let's see. I win 1, hopefully.
Well, I don't do fantasy football anymore. I get my fun of fantasy football by watching the drama in Ray's League.
Yes. There you go.
Because it is very, very entertaining, right? You
Yeah.
guys really, you and Alvin really entertain me.
Oh, yeah.
You, Alvin, Jeff, you guys are a riot.
Yeah. Well,
I'm always asking who's in the lead. I'm always asking questions. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
Anyway.
Football is about to be back.
I got to restrain myself, but, in the background, no, I'm all into that. So
This year, do you know it's the most exciting thing about football?
what is that?
That means fall's around the corner.
I think everyone is excited about that. Trust me. It's starting to feel, we're getting out of these triple digits. So just hang in there a little bit longer, guys.
I love summer. It's just been such a hot one that I'm just like, okay.
You just said that and it made me remind myself of that Frozen reference, Olaf.
Oh, we did that last year.
Summer. Oh, yeah.
We
Anyways,
did
we did do that one last year.
We did a
Oh,
little.
there you go.
Yeah. I got good memory
There.
sometimes.
Still got it.
Sometimes. All right. I don't want to forget all this. So, hey, we're going to jump right into this. Remember, all information shared with you today can be found at mybcb.org. That's mybcb.org. So make sure you're checking out the website. There's a calendar. The events are posted up there. So that way you don't miss out on anything. Okay. But we do want to remind you that we have a bunch of community calls that you can be a part of. Everything from game night to community calls. We still have Lunch Bunch once a month. They meet up for lunch. So all of that will be on the calendar on mybcb.org, or you can contact Matt at 559-222-4447. That's 559-222-4447.
7.
I was waiting for you. You were supposed to jump in sooner. Let's try it again.
Okay.
559-222.
447.
How come it's only 3 numbers?
I don't know. Man, it's in the afternoon. It's still hot. Okay, come on.
I got him. I
You
get
still
him.
got me. Okay.
It's been a while since I got him.
Okay.
You ready to try it again?
All right.
All right. That number is 559-222.
4447.
Oh, nailed it. Finally, it only took him 3 times, guys.
Yeah.
Is that a record?
Third time's the charm, right?
Hey.
Isn't that what they say?
Yes. Just so you guys are not confused, that's 559-222-4447.
Yes.
Make sure you contact Matt. Matt is the man who has all the details for you on all of our community calls, Coffee with Alvin, everything.
Tea time talk, book club. Love book club.
Book club. Love book club.
Book club. Yes.
I'm actually, I don't know. I'll have to check in to see when they're going to start a new one and what's going on.
They
I
start a book.
I haven't done
I
a book
believe,
club in a while.
Honestly, I learned this. They start a book every month. So
Go, Tom.
So they read one book. They go through. The goal is to read the book throughout the whole month, and be able to go give updates in the next book club. So, yeah.
Man, if you guys want to have a really good book club, I'm sure Tom Randall is. Superb.
He's awesome. I love book recommendations from Tom. Me and Tom always have some good chats about fantasy, books sci-fi books, mystery, history books, all of that. And then for book club, real quick,
go for it. Run, let's do it.
Book club, it is free in the sense of what they do is help find books on the National Library Services BARD service. So that's a service that's available to any individuals with disabilities, so that they can receive text, like e-textbooks or audio books through the Library of Congress for free. So for those that are worried about, like, how do I get the book? Am I going to be able to afford that? Or is it through audible.com, which is a paid service? No. All the books that they select are through the BARD National Library Service. So all books would be free, and they will assist you on signing up for that service. So the more you know.
Absolutely. And we touched base on this last month, but we're going to hit it heavy here today, because this is about as close as you're going to get to a Tech-Sided episode as you had in a while. So August 28th.
A Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. We are having a tech fair. Okay? There's going to be 2 sessions. There's going to be a 12 to 3?
Oh, man. No. So a 9 a.m. session to 12, and then a 1 to 4.
There you go.
1 to 4. So two, an AM session and a PM session.
Correct.
So, yeah.
Correct. And that is going to be held at Park Grove Commons Community Center.
Yes.
And the address is 2674 East Clinton Avenue, right here in Fresno, California. That's 2674 East Clinton Avenue. And that is on August 28th, 2 sessions, 9 to 12 and 1 to 4. So make sure that you call. You got to reserve a spot. So make sure you call in. You could call in. Where can they call, Ray?
They can call the DEP line at 888-468-9115.
And just when I thought it was over, you go and redeem yourself.
That one, I was like, I need to focus. That was what my focus was, actually. That was my.
If you know what movie I quoted, you got to also put that on the Facebook page and let us know what you thought, and see who knows that.
See, that went right past me. I didn't even know you were doing a movie reference.
I did a movie reference.
Oh my gosh, that's a new podcast for me soon.
I did a movie. It is an ongoing thing with the workforce development team here. We keep messing with Ray because we quote movies and he has no idea what we're talking about.
Yeah, for some reason, when I was a kid, I was just outside all the time and I didn't get a chance to watch movies. That's what I'm finding out.
Well, I didn't watch movies until you were a kid. And I was already older and had a kid. All right. Hey, before we get into our guest today, I thought we'd do a really quick conversation, kind of throw a little bit of our own tech in there. And I wanted to run something by you. So Samsung, and it's very rarely that I mention Samsung.
I was just going to say, you're starting off wrong right now.
I will tell all you Android people, like, be happy that I actually said Samsung. But Samsung released their smart ring.
Yeah, I don't. Okay. It's a health device. I get this, right? And Samsung released a smart ring to be able to monitor your vitals and track your sleep and things like that. There's some debate on if it's really worth, that type of device when you have smartwatches. So I don't know.
That's why I asked you. So here's the thing, okay? For those who are using their watches to track their sleep and really get into all the nooks and crannies of what their smartwatches can do, the ring is really cool because a full charge could last a week. Mm-hmm. And then it charges up really fast. So you could take it off in the morning, charge it, and you don't have to worry about wearing your watch down. Your watch, unless you have the Ultra, you're wearing your watch. My watch, because of the way that I track my daily, I couldn't make it 2 days on my watch.
No.
So this would allow me, and that's me charging it every night. So I can't track my sleep with my watch, technically.
I see it as an extension to your vital trackings and things like that, but I don't see it as your primary device if you're between, should I have a ring or should I have an Apple Watch? But
I would have both. But Apple is coming out with theirs, so I'm waiting for Apple. But I had to give Samsung the credit because they came out first. Hey, well, there's another one that's out there already.
Shout out to Samsung, but let's see how it works out. I'm skeptical, but hey, I love these tech talks. We need to do a little bit more of these.
We miss it. I've had people come up and ask where Tech-Sided.
Yeah, I know, but let's we got a special guest.
and AppleViz. AppleViz is going bye-bye.
What? This is news to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the last month for AppleViz. So
All right.
maybe we can step into that realm and take over.
Maybe.
Okay. All right. With that said, we're going to jump into our guest for this episode. I'm super excited for this conversation. Super amazing person, an employee here at Valley Center for the Blind and AT instructor. Ray, I'm going to go ahead and let you bring it in. Like, you can go ahead and announce who it is.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna
I'm giving
the
you
honors.
I think you earned it.
So
you
what,
had the phone number so good.
Okay, so we're introducing our special guest today. Like Jason said, is our own AT instructor, Andrea, and Andrea is going to be helping us do some talk about some tech and a little bit of her experience with it, and also her little. She did get a chance to go to a conference this time,
The ACB conference in Florida.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. So stay tuned. Don't turn the dial. I just want to feel like we're on the radio. I always wanted to say that. But stay tuned. Quick little break, and we'll be back with Andrea, one of our AT instructors here at Valley Center for the Blind. Access Ingenuity has been supporting VCB and organizations like ours for over 20 years. Join their weekly accessibility webinar by experts or schedule an in-person demonstration of their assistive technology. Visit accessingenuity.com for more information. Seeking top-notch accessibility and support? Look no further than Sterling Adaptives. Not only do they provide excellent service, but also actively support organizations like ours. Contact them at 415-878-2922. That's 1-415-878-2922. Or email them at sales@sterlingadaptives.com. That's sales@sterlingadaptive.com. Sterling Adaptives, where sterling reputation meets unparable compassion and care. It's that time again. It's time for VCB Stories with Ronaldo Villarreal and Jason Smith. All right. Welcome in, everybody, to another VCB Stories. It's been a long time, Ray, since we've been able to do a VCB story, brother. How you been?
I've been all right, man. I'm looking forward to this one, though.
Yeah, this one's going to be very tech-citing.
Yes. I'm hyped.
I'm very hyped. Hey, you're not going to be swinging from the ceilings or anything, right?
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, everybody, we have a good one today. In honor of the fact that our great AT instructor himself, the man himself, Alvin Martin, is getting ready to have a tech fair here coming up at the end of August, we thought it would be fitting to get into some tech talks, something we haven't done in quite a while here on the podcast. And to help us do that today, we brought in one of our very talented AT instructors by the name of Andrea DeClatz. Andrea, welcome to the VCB podcast. How are you?
I'm well, and thank you, Ray and Jason, for inviting me to be part of this. I really appreciate it.
We thank you even more, Andrea. Just to kind of get the audience familiar with you, can you go ahead and give us a little background about your vision loss?
Absolutely. I was born blind. I am 64, so I was born blind in the 1960s. And I was very fortunate to be raised in the Bay Area. I attended regular school. I was mainstreamed. I'm a college graduate. I have a master's degree in marriage and family counseling, which I never really used much because after college, I kind of got into the tech area and I never left it because I love tech. I'm kind of a gadget freak, admittedly, so it's a good fit for me. I'm divorced. I'm a little bit of an oddity at VCB because I don't live in their catchment area. I actually live in Orange County, California. I've been with VCB about a year. And I really love my job. It's great. I really feel like I'm making a difference in people's lives and affecting them in a positive way. So it's really wonderful.
Isn't that great? That's my favorite part about working here is having the impact on people's lives. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Andrea, it's been such a, nice having you on our team. I hear so many, talks from your students, the stuff that you've been doing with them. I know I've interviewed one of them for a possible position, and we're helping them as well. And hearing your stories that you shared during our Friday meetings, and some of the students that are getting jobs, and you're supporting them. So we appreciate that so much. And of course, I love technology, so I'm so happy to have you on.
Thank you.
Yeah, me and Ray are self-proclaimed tech heads.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, good. Then it's a good fit.
Yeah, and in fact, in that's probably a good leeway into this next conversation, because you just attended the ACB conference in Jacksonville, Florida, and you had an opportunity to sit on an Apple panel. And Ray and I are also self-proclaimed Apple geniuses.
I
don't know about geniuses, but we're Apple fanboys. There you go. I
love Apple.
We're Apple fanboys. So we would love to hear your side of your experience of attending that conference and being able to sit on a panel such as, an Apple panel, out of all things.
Well, the conferences are wonderful. This is my 10th conference in person. And it's a really wonderful opportunity to network with other people, friends that you don't see from all over the country, maybe people you talk to on Zoom but haven't met, or people you don't see often unless it's a gathering like this. The downside of it is that the last 2 times I've gotten COVID both times. So it was a little bit rough. Fortunately, neither time did I get it when I was actually there. It was at the end, so I didn't really miss out on anything, but it's a hard choice to make. And these days, it's a gamble. You sort of take that risk if you go, because you're around a lot of people. We had over 500 participants this year. And so one of the things that companies do is they come to us knowing that, this is a gathering of a lot of visually impaired people with all different abilities and strengths, and that it's a good opportunity for them to get feedback. So probably 2 months before the convention, those of us who had registered as attendees received an email from the convention organizers saying that Apple was going to have these panels, and that they really wanted people to come out and participate in them, and that they would take however many people, 6 or 7, I think, per panel. And when it was first come, first served, so when they were full, they were full. So I signed up right away and actually was on, I think, the very first panel they had. It was on Monday morning at 9:00. So I think it was the first one. And they were pretty open-ended about what they asked. We got into things like the difficulty for particularly congenital totals like myself to use Face ID, because my eyes, I have I always forget the name. Nystagmus. I have pretty severe nystagmus, which means that my eyes don't stay still; they move. And the problem with Face ID, even with the attention aware turned off, the attention aware feature, for those of you who don't know, is a feature that prevents somebody from accidentally unlocking someone else's phone. It means that the phone has to be kind of focused on you. But for visually impaired people, they recommend turning the attention aware off. But even with it off, it's at best a hit and miss proposition that I'll be able to use Face ID. And I'm a fairly late adopter of the iPhone without the home button. I just got mine in December. So this was a new learning curve for me. And I justified it in my own mind that I might have students who would need to learn to use the phone without the home button, and I better know how to do it. So that is something we talked about, and they actually said that they might be able to fool with it a little bit and see if maybe they could improve that. Because what I did as a workaround, I just shortened my passcode to 4 digits. So I've gotten really used to just putting in my passcode. I wish there was some way they could bring the fingerprint back, but I don't know that will happen.
I know that there's been rumors for the fingerprinting on the screen, and I've been hoping for that myself. I'm a partial, so I do have some usable vision, and the Face ID is just not it. Sometimes it works, and when it works, I love it. But when it don't, I want to throw it.
Yeah, and if I'm in a hurry and I can't get it to work, it takes that extra minute to unlock the phone.
Yeah.
And I love my iPhone 15 Pro. I really like it. But it just, it takes that extra minute to get it open. And I'm just used to slapping my thumb down. And unlike some other people, I never had much trouble with the fingerprint. It always worked fine for me.
Me too.
I know certain people had problems with it, but mine was okay. So one of the other things we talked about, I do use hearing aids. I don't use them all the time. I don't use them when I work. I mainly use them when I'm out in public or if I'm somewhere where noise might be a problem for me. My hearing is more, it's just, I miss parts of words and they're pretty sure it's hereditary. My dad had hearing issues and so did his mother. So more than likely it's a hereditary thing and they don't know how bad it's going to get. I don't think it's gotten a lot worse in the last year. My roommate might argue with me. I don't know, but depending on how many hundred times a day I ask her to repeat something, um, it's just sometimes I get words wrong. I hear what I think I hear, and usually, you guess. Your brain tries to figure out what you heard, and it's usually wrong. So that's the problem that I have. And my hearing aids do work with my iPhone, but they will only get so loud. And sometimes if I'm in a crowd, I literally have to take them off and put in my AirPods because I cannot
Mm,
hear my phone. With the hearing aids turned up all the way and the phone turned up, I can't. They're the the high volume setting on the hearing aids isn't loud enough to allow me to hear something on my phone if there's a lot of background noise, which to me is counterintuitive. I don't understand why that it is the way it is, but apparently I've talked to the audiologist and that's just the way they're set. So um, sometimes I actually have to use my AirPods to enable me to hear. So I talked to them a little bit about that. I think what I noticed also at this panel was that particularly there was one person there who brought up a lot of stuff that wasn't really Apple issues. And some people don't realize that things like dropped calls don't have anything to do with Apple. So I think it's very
correct.
important to delineate what exactly is Apple's purview, and what really doesn't have to do with. And unfortunately, this person was pretty angry, I think, when they came in the room and
Mm,
just kind of unloaded about stuff that a lot of it had nothing to do with Apple and why we were there.
right.
And that was kind of a bummer, but the interesting part I think was that people need to realize what Apple is responsible for, and that once that phone gets in somebody else's hands, there's a lot of things they can't control.
Yeah.
So
Like
I think
service.
that's important to point out as well. um, I'm trying to think what else we talked. Those were the two big issues for. Oh, there are some features, and Ray, you may know more about this
Hmm.
than I do because I can't remember exactly what we talked about, but there are some features in the magnifier that actually could be helpful to visually impaired folks that like me, but you wouldn't know about them because they're in the magnifier, and they're going to remove some of those features and move them. And I don't remember exactly what it was they mentioned, but there were things that had to do with speech and stuff. And I'm like, why would they put those in the magnifier? I never look at the magnifier. I don't know what's in there. And so they're going to change some of the settings around to make some of those features more available and more visible. But I wish I could remember exactly what that was, and I can't. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Ray's going to look into that right now, and I think I might know what
Okay.
one of them are, and I think it has like some voice feedback on it. I'm curious too. I wanted to ask you because you brought up about the hearing. How do you
Yes.
find using the AirPods in replace of your hearing aids? Do they work as good or better or worse?
In some ways they work better, although they don't filter out any background noise. They work better in terms of me being able to, if I say I'm wanting to schedule an Uber ride and I'm in a big, like in a crowded restaurant and I'm inside the restaurant. If I go outside and there's less noise, then I could probably use my hearing aids. But if I'm inside the restaurant trying to phone or hear my phone in terms of, doing something with the app,
Hmm.
my hearing aids aren't loud enough. I cannot hear them. So the AirPods are helpful in a situation like that to give me the extra volume that I need to be able to pick out the sounds from the phone that I need to hear. Um, the hearing aids are pretty good at if I'm talking to someone in a crowd and filtering out some of the background noise and making the voice that I'm hearing a little more crisp. But in
Hmm.
a situation where I really need to focus on my phone and hear the feedback it's giving me, they're not great. And I'm really hoping that's something that'll improve. I do use one of the more common brands of hearing aids, but they aren't over the counter. They were prescription.
What type of
So
AirPods? What model of the AirPods
I
do you
have the
have?
Pro, and they're
Oh, you
about a
do.
year old. I'm not sure exactly what model they are, but they are the Pros.
Okay, so they should have noise cancellation. Do you know how to
I
activate
think
that?
they have some, yeah, they do. And they really do help. I'm not saying they would replace my hearing aids, but
Yeah,
there are situations where they're very useful.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I'm an
So
AirPod user. Like I've gone to the pros and I won't go back because it's because of that noise cancellation feature. It really helps because we hear everything, right? Like everything is intensified, and where we're
that's
in
it. Yeah.
crowds, we need to focus on something. It's very hard. So I like
It's
having the
really
noise.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
honestly, the hearing aids don't do a great job in that area,
Okay.
to my mind.
yeah. I'm finding myself having to. I might need to get myself some AirPod Pros because I've been using voiceover more and more because of my vision, and it is challenging when you're around people or having TV in the background and
Yeah.
trying to listen to your voiceover. So a good pair of
Right.
headphones or earphones are
Well, and the thing is, I had the original AirPods.
mm-hmm.
They didn't have those little silicone tips,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
they didn't stay in your ears as well. That was the other thing. I was always scared to death I was going to lose one.
yeah.
And these, I feel more confident and comfortable that they're going to stay with me and I won't, they won't fall out.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. I like the Pros because I like that better design.
And to wrap up the ACB part of it in the conference and with Apple, what was your biggest takeaway at the end of the day when everything was said and done? What was your big takeaway? How did you feel about Apple when you left there?
I have always felt that Apple was extremely responsive. Could I share a really quick story? I have an
Yeah,
interesting story
floor is
about.
yours.
Okay, I have a really good friend. We've known each other since like eighth grade. She married an attorney who ended up working for Apple for several years as a patent lawyer. He doesn't work for them anymore, but he did work for them for quite a number of years. And back probably close to 10 years ago now, I wanted to see the Apple Watch. So he said, "Well, I'll take you to the Apple store and you can look at it." So we went to the Apple store and we asked the guy about the watch, and he says, "Well, you can't really see it. They're all locked down, and we can't do anything." And my friend said, "Hey, um, Apple really prides itself on accessibility and availability of these features." Um, my friend saw this device at a conference, and it's very likely that if you show it to her, she might buy one. And I work for Apple, and I would really appreciate it if you would do. We had the manager there. We had the watch out within like 2 minutes, and he wasn't nasty or confrontational or anything. He just said to them, "This is what you do," you know. But this person that worked there maybe hadn't had a visually impaired person
Mm-hmm.
approach them before.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in general, Apple is wonderful. I love their tech support. They're really helpful. Um, I really I think Microsoft is getting there, but I think Apple was way ahead
Mm-hmm.
in terms of providing open source, not open source, but uh, their products on every device. I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's what I mean by open source. Availability of their products and settings. Because people will ask me, "Do you have a special iPhone?" No, my iPhone's just like yours. Yours has the same. I mean, you'd never need it, but it's there if somebody did need it. It's right there on your phone. But people don't know that. So I think it's really great that that Steve Jobs had the idea to provide this out of the box with every device, that it's there if you need to use it. I think that's incredibly amazing that he did that.
Yeah, and it's pretty fluent over to different devices. So we
Yes,
talk about like
yes.
iPhones, but when it transitioned into like, I use an iMac, and you can still use the rotor gestures on an
Right,
iMac and be able to move
right.
between headings and links and things like that. And it's pretty easy as when you're using Apple and you use those accessibilities. So when you get a new device, it's not something that requires you to learn a lot more or something different. It's pretty.
I
And
have an iPad, and
yeah,
I do use. I have an iPad Air, and I do
the,
use it.
you're being recorded through an iPad. So, I mean, this is
Oh,
the
okay, cool.
versatility of iPad.
Yep,
So,
yep.
yeah, we have a special mixer but it's all connected to the iPad. I can access this through
Right.
my phone. I can go home to my Mac. I can access it through my Mac. Apple's been
Hmm.
really good about being leaders in the accessibility world for everybody with, all sorts of types of disabilities. So
Yes,
that wins me over
yes,
as well. So Apple is
it's
just,
great.
great way to say Apple, thank you for everything that you create and do and making it so
Absolutely.
cohesive.
Absolutely.
Before we even let you go, because we're not ready to let you go yet, just to let you know, you just went to CSUN this year as well, and we got the tech
I
fair
did.
coming up. So why don't you go ahead and talk about maybe 2 or 3 tech items that you've seen recently, or that you just happen to use on a daily basis that you would think would be a great item to share for everybody.
Okay, well, one I will talk about one item that I actually I didn't get to see them at CSUN. They were there, but I saw it at the ACB convention, and that is the Glide. I don't know if you've heard anything about the Glide, but it's a handheld mobility device. It kind of looks like a small vacuum cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
It's you propel it in front of you, and it's designed to avoid obstacles and detect, motion. It can follow people. It's not out on the market yet. It's supposed to be out next year, but a lot of people are looking at it as a potential replacement, say for an older person, for a guide dog.
Okay.
That it does a lot of what I won't call it a robotic guide dog because they don't want to call it that,
Yes.
but that it does a lot of the things that a guide dog could do to help somebody. And it's a really interesting. I had a demo of the Glide when I was at CSUN or at ACB. I don't think it's for me. I'm not a guide dog user, never have been. I am a cane user, and I really, for me, don't know about wanting to carry another device.
Mm-hmm.
And you do have to like lift it upstairs. It's supposed to weigh under 5 pounds
Okay.
when it's done. But that was a really interesting because you're actually walking through, like the exhibit area, which is pretty crowded. And it did a fairly good job of, avoiding people and avoiding table legs, and it would steer you. It was pretty interesting, I have to say. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm with
Um,
you. I don't know if that would be for me either personally. I mean, I haven't tried it. I did see a video on it. However, I'm not a guide dog user either, but I don't know. I guess I would have to get hands on
yeah.
like you got to really make that decision. But I mean, I could see where it'd be very useful for our community.
Yeah, I am a guide dog user, so these things get shared with me in regards to, I actually, Martel did share some like a robotic guide dog, and
I
now
remember
hearing,
that.
yeah, and now
They
seeing,
have a way. Sorry.
oh no, you're fine. And then the cane as well, or this mobility assistance, still, which I get it. Like you're 100, you're correct in regards to like this is a good options for individuals that are like our seniors, that may not want to, or it gets a little trickier with guide dogs when you have to care for them, the additional care. It's a lot of
Sure.
work. So
Well,
I get it.
anything to keep us
It is.
independent and
Yeah.
get out there to advocate, I'm all for. So it sounds like a wonderful device.
Well, and I think the guy who is kind of the motivating force, he's from Israel. His name is Amos Miller. He's very committed to this. He's extremely committed. And I have no reason to think he's not sincere. He
Oh
seems
yeah.
very sincere. Um, the other device that I saw at CSUN that I was really impressed with, I'll never own one, I don't think, but it's a new display, and I trying to think who is, I think it's Humanware. It's called the Activator, and it actually has both a Braille keyboard and a QWERTY keyboard and a Braille display. So it's got
Wow.
everything.
Wow.
And I am, as I said, something of a gadget freak. I do have a HIMS Braille Sense 6. I also have a Mantis, which is a Braille display that has a QWERTY keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
which I really like. I bought it used from another person, but I really like the concept of the Mantis because I think the learning curve is less because if you know how to type and use the computer keyboard keys, you can use the Mantis.
Yeah.
You don't have to learn a whole bunch of extra keystrokes like you would with a Braille display. Um, but I was really impressed with the Activator. I think it could be a really cool device, particularly maybe for like TVIs and stuff,
Oh yeah.
because it's pretty versatile. But it's a lot of money, and I probably wouldn't buy that. The other device that's kind of cool to me is the BT Speak. Now this, I had a Braille and Speak back in the 90s. It was the first tech device that I had that was really like a Braille note-taking device. It had no Braille display. The first one I had, then they then came out with the Braille Light, which did have a Braille display. But I had the Braille and Speak initially, and it was a game changer because I was in grad school, and it really helped me to be able to take notes and prepare documents and things. This is a much smaller version of it. You could almost fit it in your pocket, and it does not have a Braille display either, but it's got a lot of other little applications. It can actually do some. They have two sides of it: the traditional mode side and the desktop side. And on the desktop side, it uses Linux, and so you can browse the web. You can do email with Thunderbird. You can apparently do Zoom with it. I haven't tried Zoom on it, but you can do, and it's tiny. It's quite small, and because there's no Braille display, the price point is lower.
Okay.
That's the other thing. My other exciting thing that I got recently is the glasses, the Meta smart glasses. I really like my
Oh,
Meta
yes.
smart glass.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is that
really
the Ray-Ban? Is that the Ray-Ban ones or no?
Yes.
Yeah, the
Yes,
Ray-Ban Meta.
Ray-Ban.
Yeah.
Yep. I've had them for about a month, and I really like them. And I think they're going to get. I think they're only going to get better.
And what's been your experience? What do you see? How do you use those most of the time?
I use them a lot for product identification, like foods and things.
Mm-hmm.
And for the most part, they've been really good. And I know I can use them for a lot more than that. That's mainly what I've done with them so far. They can identify bills. You can make videos with them. You can do a lot of things. They will read documents. They will summarize a document for you. Sort of like, say you have a bill, it'll sort of give you the quick version of the so you know who it's from and whether it's something you want to deal with, and so it can, and they keep updating. So I think there's been a little bit of problem with money identification. It's not very consistent yet. It gets a lot of wrong answers, but I think they'll fix that. I think and the cool thing about this is these are kind of mainstream.
Oh,
These
yeah.
were not developed specifically for blind folks.
Oh, no.
So,
And
the price is less.
Yes.
And considering that the Envision glasses are, almost 10 times as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right now Envision's a little bit ahead, but they've been out longer, and I think
Well, they're more community specific too.
right. But I think Meta is growing. I really think the woman who is the community engagement coordinator for ACB has done several podcasts. She got them, and she is a power user and has done several podcasts and is really getting the word out on how great these things are. And I so far have had largely positive experiences with mine. The other nice thing is they're attractive to wear.
I was gonna say, you're not just techie, Andrea. You're stylish. Right?
That's right.
You're out there running the town.
All about style. Because the Envision glasses, my sister, when I was wearing them, my sister said, "You look like a dentist." Because they don't have any lenses in them. They're just frames with the camera mounted on them.
Yeah.
So you kind of look like Geordie, and I don't really want to. I mean, if I'm going to wear a pair of glasses, I want them to look reasonable.
Right.
And these are really nice. They're Ray-Bans. I mean, they're nice,
Italian
attractive
sunglasses.
glasses.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
So
now,
very cool. I'm excited about that.
now I'm gonna go look at these now.
I've seen them. I know I've seen them, and that's a whole nother conversation that we'll have to have on another podcast about how mainstream technology is really leaning into the accessibility side of things, which makes things very interesting. The only problem is they're not fully understanding the concept. Like, so,
right. Sometimes they don't. They don't quite get it. But
that's like
I think the idea is wonderful.
Yes, it's making it more affordable. That's the key.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely. Yes.
That's like even with the iPhone. Originally, it was not designed for blind and low vision individuals, but
it changed my life.
It dramatically changed so many people's life. It's like the gold standard, and it's people always ask us, "Oh, is that, like Andrea said earlier? Is that a special iPhone?" No. It's not.
Yours can do it too.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Exactly. What freaks them out though is when they realize that the gestures are all different when they turn on voiceover just to see.
Yeah.
And then my sister was like, "Oh no, I can't do anything." And I said, "Yeah, you could, but you'd have to learn how to, they're different gestures."
And it's not that hard.
So,
it's a pretty quick learn too. It's pretty straightforward for the most part.
Yeah. My wife, fully sighted, knows how to use voiceover and actually uses voiceover for school. She has a little. She likes to listen to her books or the text or the emails, so she'll turn on voiceover. I'm like, "Are you using voiceover?"
Great.
She's like, yeah, what
Why not?
why not?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Andrea, man, it's been such a great conversation. Before you go, because we always ask everybody that comes on this question, if there was anything that you could tell somebody that may be contemplating whether or not they need services or not, what would you tell them?
Go out there and see what's available. Don't hide in your house. My roommate is someone who lost her sight much later in life, and it's a big step out there to just first admit that you need help. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And then to say, I'm going to put myself out there in the community and see what's available to help me. And it could make such a huge difference in your life. You can go from basically hibernating at home, either being alone or letting family take care of you, to actually stepping out there and having a life. And it's just so super important. And there's so much these days that can help you. People that can help you, devices that can help you, and you won't know what those are until you talk to somebody, any of us.
Great.
Yeah, so well said. Andrea, it's been a pleasure having you on. I think the information that you shared today is going to help a lot of people. I know you've helped me. I'm probably going to go out and I would say by the end of this month, I'm going to have me a pair of Ray-Ban Meta sunglasses.
You can get them on Amazon. I bought mine on Amazon.
Oh, now
So
see,
it's
now I'm
pretty
in
easy to
trouble.
get.
It's a done deal. I can get
2-day
on
free
Amazon.
I
shipping.
know, huh? Yeah.
Today.
Oh, the other cool thing about the Meta glasses, if you do have prescription lenses, you can go to, because all the hardware's in the frames. So like you can go to a doctor and get, or a place that, does lenses
Yeah.
and get your own whatever lenses you need. That wasn't, I didn't need that, but
Wow.
you can do that.
See?
So
So amazing.
they actually work with other types of lenses too.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
I'm on it. It's going to be my new thing. And Ray's looking at me right now because I know he knows I'm being serious. I will have them by the
We
end of
just
the
had a
month.
conversation earlier how you were
They're pretty cool.
your temptation
Thank
has
you.
been
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been being good about not buying tech, and now it's over.
it's okay.
Thank you guys so much
No.
for asking me, for thinking of me, and for asking me to be part of this. I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate you even more. Good luck, and all your clients are very blessed to have you, and I look forward
Thank
to
you.
talking to you soon.
Take care. Thank
All
you.
right, bye-bye. All right, Ray, how about that conversation?
That was awesome.
That was great.
I wanted to keep going and going and going.
Oh, when it comes to tech, the conversation never ends. So, unfortunately, we are on time limits. So, all good things must come to an end. But I think that inspired me for us. We're going to have another episode. You and I are going to have to sit down and talk about tech.
Yes.
And I think the conversation of the mainstream technology companies putting more accessibility features in their
And they sometimes don't even think about it because
Yeah.
look at your mixer. Huge
Yeah.
buttons.
Huge
Wonderful
buttons.
for low vision
Yeah.
users.
This is all an
yes.
accident. It works great. So anyway, we thank you guys once again for listening. Make sure you follow us on all the social medias. Hit up YouTube, hit up Facebook, hit up Instagram. You can find us on the X, also known as former Twitter. All right, but make sure you hit your podcast button wherever you're, Apple, Spotify, you name it. We're all over the place. We want to thank you for all your support over the years, and we'll see you next time.